There is no chaos, only patterns we fail to see. This is the Wren Files. There was blood on the velvet carpet, a broken mirror in the hall, and a stage light still flickering like it hadn't decided whether to stay in the past or not. The woman was dead. The man was applauded. It started with a phone call from Inspector Quinn, and as usual, no pleasantries. Wren, got a body and an alibi that's too perfect. Come see if it makes sense to you. The victim, Isabel Wynne, age 29. A former stage assistant turned theatre booker. Found dead in her flat on Warwick Lane at 10:04 p.m. Neighbours heard glass breaking and called it in. Time of death confirmed by medical examiner, between 10 and 10:10. The cause, a narrow, high-velocity puncture wound just under the rib cage, straight to the heart. The weapon, unfound. Now here's the rub. At that exact time, her partner, the man known professionally as Valentino the Marvellous, was on stage at the White Poppy Theatre, performing The Box of Knives, before a crowd of nearly 150 guests. Photos. Eye-witnesses. A stage manager's log marked 10 o'clock sharp. Knives routine begins. The performance lasted exactly 7 minutes. Quinn met me outside the flat. He was chewing a mint like it owed him money. Clean break-in. No sign of forced entry. Front door locked. Back door chained. Window? Only one overlooking the alley, locked from the inside. And the boyfriend? Quinn snorted. Slick as his hair, didn't even blink when we told him. We met Valentino at the theatre the next morning. Real name, Eric Finch, 42. Tall, poised, overdressed for daytime, in a deep maroon jacket and black cravat. June whispered, "He looks like someone who rehearses blinking." He smiled when we arrived. "Detective Wren, I was wondering when someone clever would show up." He showed us the stage log, the call sheet, and the applause meter. "Yes, that's a thing," he said. "We record decibel peaks. It helps with pacing." I pointed to a time stamp. 10:03 p.m. Peak reaction, knife finale. "You threw the last blade?" He nodded. "Aimed for the apple on the box. Split it. Crowd went mad. Any chance you left the stage mid-act?" "Impossible." "We choreograph to the second. You leave the stage, the trick falls apart." Back at the crime scene, I stood in Isabel's flat. It was tidy, modern, modest. A half-finished cup of tea on the window-sill, a scarf on the floor, and a broken mirror frame lying across from the window, face down. The odd thing? No blood near the mirror. Just a single scratch in the frame's edge, sharp, clean. I crouched by the window. From there I could see the side wall of the theatre exactly across the alley. On that wall, a metal signboard, glossy, convex. June joined me, holding a rolled programme from the show. "Listen to this," she said. "Tonight's illusion, dedicated to Isabel Wynne, whose faith, finesse, and timing made every blade fly true." I looked back at the mirror. Timing, hmm? Backstage, we examined Valentino's props. The knives were blunted stage weapons, harmless at close range. Except one was missing. "No idea where it went," he said. The theatre's back corridor had a small open vent just above head height, opposite the alley-facing wall. I stood in the alley. Wren's law again. When a man cannot be in two places at once, make one place see the other. I told Quinn. He did it from here. With what? Magic? Quinn scoffed. Almost. The hardest part of any magic trick isn't the illusion, it's the control. Control of the light. Control of the angle. Control of exactly when someone blinks. We visited the back corridor again. The air vent sat just above eye-level metal flap still ajar. It looked too narrow, too impractical. Unless you were deliberate. I brought June to the alley. Stand here. Look through the vent. She squinted. I see a straight line across the alley into the flat. Exactly. And if you lined up a mirror at just the right angle, you'd bounce a blade right through it. We confirmed it by running a red string from the vent across the alley into the window where it hit the spot just above the chair where Isabel had been sitting. A clean arc, with a trajectory only possible once. Back at the theatre, we checked the blade box. Only 6 of the 7 knives were present. All had dulled tips except one sheath that had trace residue of metal polish and red thread. Swapped before the show, June muttered. Valentino had rehearsed this. Timed the throw. Known exactly how long it would take a blade to hit home. We still lacked a weapon. But then came the twist. The audience giveaway. Every night Valentino threw one blade to the crowd as a souvenir wrapped in a velvet pouch. We tracked the guest list. Guest number 23. Eloise Grant, age 67, sat in row C. She still had the pouch. She kept it for luck. But when we asked her to open it, she hesitated. It felt heavier than I expected. Inside, a knife with a sharpened point. Real steel, balanced, deadly, and engraved faintly with a V near the hilt. Forensics confirmed. Traces of blood on the blade, same as Isabel's type. Tiny hairline on the edge, consistent with passing through glass or mirror. The trick wasn't misdirection. It was math. Back at the flat, I noticed something new. The mirror had been hung using 2 strings, forming a perfect V shape when viewed from above. It had been angled precisely to catch the blade. One chance. One throw. One dead assistant. Quinn stared at the photos and muttered. He bloody sniped her with a stage knife. Correction, I said. He made the audience applaud the murder weapon. The final piece came from June. A letter tucked in Isabel's costume box, addressed in her handwriting. If you ever do this trick with the real ones again, I swear I'll walk away. I mean it, Eric. She never got the chance. We called him back to the theatre. Said we wanted a demonstration forensics reconstruction, nothing more. He smirked, like a man invited to his own tribute. Always happy to educate the police, he said. We set up the knife box. Placed a wooden target where the audience would have sat. You always hit that apple dead centre? I asked. Every time, he said. And you time it to exactly 10:03? That's when the camera shutters go off. Always dramatic. I stood near the vent. The breeze was colder than I expected. Let's say you were to throw one that way, I said, pointing at the corridor. Into that. He raised a brow. Too narrow. But if you'd rehearsed. He smiled. Hypothetically, you'd need a blade with tighter balance and an angled bounce, mirror work. The old school stuff. Then he looked at me and said something he shouldn't have. You'd need her to sit still. That was the real trick. Quinn stepped forward. You just confirmed placement, timing, and trajectory. Also that you planned it. Valentino blinked. That's not a confession. It's enough, I said. The knife has her blood. The pouch has your fingerprints. And the crowd? They were your cover. He looked calm. Too calm. Then he laughed. You think you've solved something? This isn't a murder. This is show business. I stepped closer. Your show is over. In his dressing room we found 3 sketches for the vent setup, a polished shard of mirror used for bounce angle tests, and a drafted will leaving everything to Isabel, dated 6 months ago, then crossed out last week. She was going to leave him, and he knew his finale would never be topped. Back in my flat, I found a letter waiting. Typed, no return. It read, You made it look so obvious, Wren. I'd have taken longer, but you spoiled the illusion. Applause, anyway. People think murder is about hate. But sometimes it's about timing, control, and making sure no one sees your hand move. Valentino the Marvellous went down for murder. And the audience? They never saw the trick, only the misdirection.